Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for being patient for us. It was all me tonight. I forgot to make the intro and the outro until right before the show. So I'm joined with Rod, my co-host, as well as two ladies that have both been on before, but they haven't been on together. So below me is my good friend Tiffany, Thrifting Vegas, and Caddy Corner is Miss Rachel from Lily Works. So we're all super excited to be here with you guys, answer your questions, get them in early. I think we had like 20 left over last week. We did not get them all last week. So make sure you get those questions in early. I am going to let Miss Rachel and Miss Tiffany introduce themselves to you, and then we'll get to your questions. So here is Miss Tiffany.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tiffany. I'm Thrifting Vegas on YouTube, Instagram, and I do have an eBay store. I try to release YouTube videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm going to start doing an instructional short. Sorry, I messed up. That's my instructional short will be on Tuesdays, my regular videos, Thursdays and Sundays. I love being on Kat's show. I love answering all your questions. So thank you for coming and watching.
Perfect. Here is Miss Rachel.
Hey, you guys. My name is Rachel, aka Lilyworks Reseller on YouTube. And I don't know if you guys saw the show where Kat helped me really boost my subscriber count, and now I'm finally monetizing over 1,000 subscribers. And I want to give a shout out to you guys, because those of you who follow me from Kat's channel really love to comment, and it is so awesome. So thank you for all those who have subscribed. And if you guys don't know me, I am a stay-at-home mom homeschooler, and I do reselling part-time. I do mostly shoes and jewelry, but I make a full-time income doing that. So if you guys want to know how to resell, like, it feels like scraping the barrel, I guess I should say. I do like bins when nobody's there. I get jewelry jars. So I don't have a lot of time, but I'm making reselling work with a little bit of space and a little bit of time. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check me out.
Perfect. All right. Thank you guys for coming. All right. First question is Miss Celia. She said, what is the best time of the day to drop new listings?
There's really not a bad time. I would advise consistency rather than picking a time. If you can list at least a couple of new listings every single day, that's what's really going to keep your store in motion, keep the eBay algorithm happy, keep your listings on the first page of searches, and keep the eBay gods happy that you're an active reseller who is invested in your business and doing all you can to make sales. That being said, if I had to pick a time, I would probably say early evening for me in Vegas, probably maybe 5 or 6. So across the country, it's 5, 6, 7, 8 o'clock. That's when people are coming home, they're winding down, they're looking at new listings. So if I had to pick, that's when it would be.
So what first came to mind for me is like eBay and Poshmark, and also Etsy for me. It doesn't really matter, but the one platform I feel that does matter is Mercari, because once you list it, it goes up to the top of Mercari's listings that show, and then it just slowly starts coming down. Which is really unfortunate that it works that way. So, but I found out that what works best for me is when I list my items, like Tiffany said, is like the early evening is when Mercari is the most active. So that's when I tend to mostly list my Mercari listings, but all the other platforms, I don't really care, because people are usually shopping in that later time in Mercari. So that's the only thing I can think of.
So for me, I'm full-time, and when I wasn't full-time, I would list whenever I possibly could. So that was before work, that was during my work breaks, that was during, in between making, dinner for the family, stuff like that. It really doesn't matter when you're listing if you're doing buy it nows, because people are going to search newly listed items. They're looking for their certain items. So I don't think it really matters to buy it now. So if you're doing auctions, it absolutely does matter if you're doing an auction, because the key times for auctions are going to be between 7 and 9 p.m. Standard Eastern Time. Majority of the population of the U.S. is on the East Coast. So I would say if you're worried about times, I would focus on East Coast times. Nothing against the West Coast, but that's just where the dense population is on the East Coast. When it comes to sending out offers, I think sending out offers you can send out offers whenever you want, but me personally, I send out offers on lunchtime between like 12 and 1, and in the evenings between like 7 and 9. It's because people they're on either the lunch break, or people are at home in the evening enjoying time with their family, sitting on the couch with their phone in hand. So those things I think matter more than the actual time that you're actually doing your listing, if it's just a single buy now.
Yeah, I was going to say exactly what Rod said, but not just Rod. Did you mention the day of the week?
I did not. So day of the week does matter.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So with auctions, day of the week matters too, as well as time. I like them to end on Saturday or Sunday. So I will list them like a 10-day. I think it's listing it on a Thursday. So it ends on a Sunday and you get 2 full weekends. Or if I'll do a 5-day or a 7-day to have it in on a Saturday or Sunday evening. I only do about 1 or 2% auctions though, so it's not that big of a deal to me. So my answer would be what Tiffany said, as far like whenever you can, if it's not an auction. I think the main thing is to actually list. Lala's Mercantile sent $8.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. Well, this is early. We're starting with a Dolphin early. Here is your Dolphin. Miss Deborah, I think Miss Deborah's referring to like Poshmark, or I think. Miss Deborah, let us know for sure in the chat. She said, when someone shares one of your items, do you share one of theirs, and does it help sales? So I believe she's referring to Poshmark.
Honestly, when I first started Poshmark, I was really, really good about that. I was desperate to build my store. It was before I had my YouTube channel. I had my eBay, and I branched out to Poshmark to list some clothes and also some heavy items, because Poshmark is great. They have a flat shipping rate. So if you're offering heavy items like bookends or a heavy vase, something like that, Poshmark is great because the buyer only has to pay a flat rate of $7 and change. As far as the question, I was really, really good about it, but now I just don't have enough hours in the day to do that. And there is the option of hiring a service to do that, but I don't do that either. I really focus on eBay and whatnot now. And Poshmark has become sort of the place I send my heaviest stuff that hasn't really moved elsewhere. I really don't put a lot of effort into Posh, only because there are not enough hours in the day.
Yeah, so Deborah actually asked a couple questions. There was one before that, and she said, I have a couple Poshmark questions. 1, when you follow, do you follow them back? Does it help your sales? And then 2, when someone shares one of your items, do you share one of theirs? Does it help in sales? So I think that all kind of goes together. And for me, I use Posher VA. I used to literally spend hours like trying to get a certain number of shares, share my whole closet 3 times a day, not necessarily following people back that follow me, but it is easier to just go down, whoever follows you, just follow. But that has been, that takes a lot of time out of your day. And if you're trying to like tighten up what's worth your time as far as money goes, I don't really see that as being worth your time, especially because you can make more money on eBay, in my experience. With I know that I think you sell jewelry, Deborah. Definitely put more time into like listing more. And then if you get to the point where you feel comfortable hiring like a Posher VA, it's like a monthly service that does it for you, that might be worth your money and time.
So if you want to be a Posh ambassador, you actually have to share other people's items 5,000 times. You have to share your own items 5,000 times. And then I forget what the other requirement, I'm going to have to quick look it up. And I think, you have to, share items from like 50 new stores or something along those lines. So, I mean, that would be the only benefit really, to share other people's items. Sometimes people think if you share other people's items, they're going to share yours. That's not the case unless you're trying to hit that ambassador status. And I actually don't even know what the ambassador, do you know what the ambassador status does? Anything extra for you? For your account?
It doesn't do a lot for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't do a lot. But they said, I think like Posh Fest and stuff, you get access to tickets first. So
Okay.
like some events and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only benefit I see sharing other people's items, just to get that status quo.
Yeah, and like I am whatever the top like ambassador thing is, but I use one shop like Rachel. I use a service to share mine. So mine shares and follows and shares back and does all of that. I don't think it is worth your personal time to do it. I think it's worth it if you have enough listings to pay one of the services, no matter which one it is, because I have automatic offers, and that gets a lot of my sales. Like the app sends offers to 10% off to people who like my items. So Jane's saying sharing and following does not boost sales. Following ambassadors can help so that they can share your item. Mine is all one shop sharing your items. I will not lie. I get a lot of comments. People are happy I'm sharing their items, and it's not me. It is not me. I do not have time to do it. But it's cool because the app has found people that follow me and is sharing their items. So it is absolutely wonderful that that happens, but I wouldn't spend your time on it. Mr. John, More Income, says, I recently saw a post on Instagram saying that ending promoted listings and restarting as a new promotion is a good way to boost sales on eBay. Has anybody experienced that?
Rather than modify my old listings, I know you do this too, Kat. I just tend to focus on listing as much as I can. I just don't have the time to go back and end stuff and relist stuff and do all that. I have so much inventory. Honestly, you guys, I just plow forward with listing as many things as I can in my free moments. I just let things sit there until they sell, and I keep on listing.
So More Income, I'm going to say a definite yes. To that question, I have been trying this out, I would say the last 3 weeks. My time has gotten so small that I can just go onto my Vendu, and I know some of you guys use List Perfectly. I use Vendu. I chose Vendu because I can delist and relist, and then I will relist on eBay because then I can fudge with that promoted listings percentage. And then I can upload it back onto Vendu. So what I've been doing is every week I will do what sold over the weekend. And I feel like there's so many sales that are coming through where I'm like, this was a delist relist. This was a delist relist. And it's a lot of old things that have been sitting. And it's because I personally did it because I just didn't have a lot of time to devote to cleaning and listing and pictures as like a homeschooling mom this week. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to bring my laptop. I'm going to delist, relist, and I can do that all in one spot. And it has been giving me a lot more sales on things that have been stale, or some things that I thought should have sold a long time. They got a lot of traction at the beginning, and then I delisted, relisted it, and boom, it sold within minutes. And I was like, okay, then. And I also take Kat's advice. I used to do 3% promoted, and when I delist, relist, I promote it at what eBay recommends. And yeah, it's been selling. So that has been my personal experience.
So when it comes to the eBay algorithm, anytime you start and stop something, you're going to trigger the algorithm every single time. So if you're taking down a listing that's been up for 4 or 5 months and then relisting it, if you're stopping it to add a higher promoted value to it, or if you're going to run a sale, cancel that sale and start a new one, you're triggering the algorithm every single time. So yeah, I think it will help boost your sales, or at least get more eyes on your items, which in return hopefully will return more sales to those. for me, anytime I do a promotion, I stop it, restart it. When I do list items, I do see a bigger set of eyes on my items and more watchers, which I do send out offers, and it does help my sales. So I would say, yeah, it does help.
Yeah, and I haven't really tried it. I need to, so John said he wants to clarify, they don't relist the item. They simply are ending their promoted listings. So if you have your promoted listings just running and running, they're ending them and starting them. I might try that, John. I might try that tonight or tomorrow and see if it helps. It'd be worth a chance. Vicky's asking Mark to share his channel with everybody. So Mark has put up some shorts. Mark helps us every week. His channel is OG&Z. OG&Z is Mark's channel. So if you guys want to follow him, he's cool. Mark and I have hung out in person multiple times, and he is a very, very good friend in person as well as on here. 365 Vintage Hunter sent $10 and said, this is a round of coffee for everyone. Thank you for wonderful info. You are very, very welcome. Thank you so much. Here is your Dolphin. Dun, 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 dun. Thank you so much. Let's see. Deborah's saying, when you test unmarked jewelry and it tests as gold or silver with an acid test, do you list it as real gold or silver? And have you ever had a problem with buyers saying it is fake?
I don't list a whole lot of jewelry myself. I do sell a few bits on Whatnot, but I think I would just be honest. I would say it's unmarked. I tested it with an acid test. It came up as whatever it came up as. I don't guarantee it to be gold and silver.
So as Texas Gal Treasure says, stamps are cheap. And there have been many times where something has been marked as sterling silver and it is not. As a matter of fact, like one of my Southwest rings, I was wearing it for a while that I bought off of eBay, and it all of a sudden brass and copper started showing through, and it was marked. So to answer this question, I have actually run into a problem before. And those of you who watch my channel know that I use 18 karat gold acid to test my sterling silver instead of sterling silver acid. Because when you use sterling silver acid on a piece of jewelry, it will show up like a red line, which is kind of hard to see on a black testing stone. But if you use 18 karat gold acid on it, it will start popping up this bright blue, like this Live Generously sign. And that kind of gives you a more accurate read on if it's sterling silver or not. So this actually happened to me. I was listing a piece that looked like Native American jewelry, and I had tested it using my sterling silver acid early on. And if it didn't fade away, I was like, okay, it's sterling silver. And I assumed. And once they got it, they tested it themselves, and I got a return, and they were unhappy. And so I was like, okay, I need to figure out how to actually do this. Obviously, the first way to test it is if it's magnetic, it's not going to be a precious metal. It's not going to be gold. It's not going to be silver. Once you start getting your acids out, I would test it even if it is marked, yes or no, just to be doubly sure. And like, for instance, this piece of jewelry right here, the toggle might not test as sterling silver, but these little spacer beads right here might test as sterling silver. So I might write in the description, spacer beads test as sterling silver, because that has actually happened to me before, where a buyer has gotten it and the clasp was not sterling silver, but I messaged them and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I tested the beads, which were sterling silver, and I got a return for that. So yes, you do have to be careful for that and make sure you're using your magnets and your testing acids effectively.
I will pass that to Kat because I don't sell jewelry.
Yeah, and because of the volume I sell on Whatnot, I do not test everything. I will use a magnet, and I have got fake sterling that is marked, and those I will not sell as sterling. If they're pretty costume pieces, I will sell them and say, this is marked, but it's magnetic, and I don't think it's sterling. So I do that, and then I've had some old, and somebody put to, where did it go? She put that most, where did it go? Oh, here, 365 Vintage Hunter. Most antique jewelry is not marked because it was known as gaudy back in the day. So I have had some older pieces, especially cameos, that are not marked and are gold. And what I do is I put not marked, acid tested as 10 carat. Most of them have been 10 carat. Acid tested as whatever carat. And I have never gotten a return that way. So most of my jewelry now does go to Whatnot, and I haven't had any issues there. And I don't have time to test 100 pieces, 500 pieces a week. But I buy from pretty reputable auction companies, and I don't. The ones I got that were fake were actually from Shop Goodwill, and almost the whole lot was fake, and it was sold to me as sterling. And it was not. So be very, very careful when you're purchasing it if you can't see it and touch it in person. Miss Margaret wants to know, how can you see who is following you on eBay? I think just one of us probably needs to grab this one.
Do you want to take that, Kat?
I can, yeah. You can't see who's following you on eBay. You used to be able to, but now you are no longer able to. You can just see a number of how many people are following you. And that's what you would want to increase, because they might have on notifications when you're listing new items, especially if you're selling something they really like. So I wouldn't worry about who is following you. Miss Shanae says, I have about 700 items of inventory to list. Mixed bag of books, home goods, and jewelry. How long does it take you to list a large quantity? And what are your tips on how to list quickly?
I think everybody has their own methods. It depends on what you're listing. Things like books are going to be a faster list and easier than something like jewelry. With books, you can generally just scan the barcode in eBay, and it will bring up exactly what it is. You don't have to do a whole lot. Just tweak the title, tweak the description, and list the condition of your copy. But something like jewelry is going to require some research. It's going to require you looking up on eBay or other platforms to see what your piece is worth. But then you have to consider, do you just want to have a bunch of books in your store? Or do you want to have some books and some jewelry and some home goods for people to browse through? So if I was in your situation, I would probably do a stack of books first, and then whatever I was more comfortable researching quickly, either the home goods or the jewelry. But try to have a mixed selection in your store until, if and when you might decide, I'm just going to do books, I'm just going to do home goods, I'm just going to do jewelry. But mix it up to start with. As far as listing quickly, what I like to do is take all my pictures on my phone, and then while I'm sitting down with my family, with my kids, I'll just go on my phone, do my listings and attach my pictures, and then list them straight from my phone. And then I can go back in on my computer. I'll tweak my first picture, make it the background nice and clear with the eBay tool right in the app. And then just check everything when I'm not tired sitting in front of the TV, and then I can bulk release them from my computer to make them all live. So that's how I like to do it.
So the quickest way that you can sell your 700 pieces is to sell all your jewelry to me, all your home goods to Tiffany, and all your books to Rod, and we're good.
Thank you for not giving me anything. I appreciate that.
Thanks for giving me all the heavy stuff.
Enough.
I'm getting 100 pounds of jewelry tomorrow. My friend is bringing me.
Like Tiffany over this way said she mentioned books first. I think that's a great idea because books is super easy and you're going to get motivated. Like you want to start looking at something that's easy, that's just going to get you interested and motivated. Like, okay, I'm going. I talk a lot about how jewelry is actually the easiest for me. Honestly, it's so easy for me just to like go through it because Google Lens is my best friend in that regards. And with jewelry, I make sure I put everything into little baggies first. So then I just grab out a baggie. Okay, what looks interesting? What can I go quickly? All right, these are some costume pieces like Avon, for instance, if it's marked Avon or it has any markings on it. Just start with those. Those are going to be the easiest to list because you can just look up the markings or you can Google Lens them. Put all like the things that you might need to test to the side, all the gemstones you don't know, put those to the side until you feel like you have that motivation to start. And that's where you can get hung up, is where you're like, okay, I've been researching this one item for 30 minutes. And that item might not bring you a lot of return on that time. So you might just want to put things to the side. So one thing I always tell my viewers is I have things in my, what I'm going to be listing. I have my absolute going to list, my maybe going to list, and then, okay, get rid of or craft pile or whatever. And my maybes has stuff that I think I'm going to have to spend a lot more time researching, I'm not interested in. And my absolute yes is my stuff that's going to get me going. I'm just going to chug along. And that works well for me. And definitely grab yourself a good hot drink or a cold drink and get yourself a comfy chair and just start listing.
So I do, part of my business model is I buy out massive collections and I do buy a lot of bulk items. So I do have experience when you do have a lot of items. And the first thing I always tell people is list, if you're limited on space, list your biggest items on first, because if something pops up the next day or two, you want to make sure that you can try to move those big items first and foremost so you have room to put other items. But when I have a big pile of items, I always list the most expensive stuff first, because don't allow items have been worth hundreds of dollars just sitting there in your death pile for weeks at a time. So that's always what I do. Probably the best thing to do though is I would put them in like sections, 50 like items, take 50 photos, batch all those photos together at one time. That way, when you sit down and list, you can just do lists similar and just quick knock them all out. Also, at the end of your day too, is I would put together a pile of 20, 30 items that you plan on taking photos and listing the next day. So when you do wake up, you already have your pile set up for you. You're not searching through things. I used to find myself, standing in front of my death pile, just trying to pick and choose what I want to list. I found that by doing it the night before, pulling all my items, what I'm going to list the next day, I can just hit the ground running. And it actually really helped me maximize my time on listing and being able to get items up and going. So the best thing is batch items, take pictures on your phone. So that way, when you're, at the doctor's office, in the waiting room, you can list, you're, sitting at a stoplight or in traffic, for there's a car accident, you're there for 20 minutes, you can quick list. But that's what I always do. And that's why I like listing on my phone.
Yeah, so I can list 30 to 50 a day if I'm focused. So it really, I think, depends on how motivated you are to get the stuff listed. And it takes a lot of motivation, a lot of drive to get that many done in a day. As far as listing quickly, I am big on no descriptions. I have no descriptions on all 6,000 of my listings. The only time I just copy the title into the description. The only time there is a description is if there is a flaw. I always make sure to put see or read in the title, and I put the flaw, and I have no issues with that because people don't read. Even when I put read and put the flaw, they still return it. They don't read it. They don't read it anyways. So I figure, why waste my time making descriptions when probably most people do not read them? So that would be one of my biggest tips to list quickly, would be to not do descriptions or omit them. And I've heard from quite a few people that like freed them and made them list so much faster. We, for clothing, we take pictures of the measurements. So we don't even type them in, but there are pictures of the measurements in the photos. So that is what we do now. I used to not even do that. I'm like, they're buying their brand. They know what size they wear. But now we put pictures of armpit to armpit and from collar to hem. Those are the two that we put in there.
Kat, do you actually take a picture of the actual measurement, or do you write it on like a dry erase board?
Nope, the measurement, the tape measure on the clothes.
Another trick for people is just have a dry erase board. That's what we use, and then just have pit to pit, and then length, and then put the measurements on there, and just take that as one of your photos at the very end, so that all your measurements are already written on the board real fast. So,
yeah. Oh, was there a super chat?
Not that I didn't see.
Did we get Jen? Yeah, we didn't get Jen.
Oh.
Jen sent a $10 super chat. I thought I was going crazy, and said, super excited to finally be able to watch live. Thanks for teaching me something new every time. You're very welcome. Thank you, Jen, very, very much for a super chat, and everybody for hanging out with us. We wouldn't have a show if you weren't all here. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us every Tuesday. Here is your Dolphin. And somebody asked if I was getting teased jewelry. I am not. So my friend Lisa, she's a good friend of mine. We used to nurse together. We were nurses at the same facility. She actually had some medical issues and had to quit and started doing jewelry. And her hands have been hurting her, so she actually can't handle the jewelry anymore. So she asked me if I wanted to buy it bulk, and she is driving it 2 hours over here to, she wants it gone, like gone. And if there's anybody in the Daytona area, actually, she has a bunch of breakables I don't have room for. So if you need inventory and would like to buy bulk, then email me and I can try and get you in touch with her, because she has a bunch of breakables and antiques and vintage as well that she's trying to just mass move it out. But she's wanting you to take everything. Just beware. I am taking all of the jewelry, but she needs somebody to take all of the everything else. Miss Shanae wants to know, what are your thoughts and experiences with using a VA for listing and cross-posting? So that's a little bit different from the sharing aspect. So we can say if we've done it or not, and if we have, how it worked.
I don't cross-post at all. I pick what I want on each platform and I list it only there. So I don't have the experience on that.
So
yeah, I do cross list, but I do it myself. I don't use a virtual assistant. I knew other sellers that do. You can, depends, the cost is usually like $400 a month, somewhere in that ballpark. They get a virtual assistant. They can vary, but there is a lot of training and a lot of stuff that goes into it. So be careful you go down that road.
So I used Fiverr to cross post before my mom worked for me, and it actually was pretty decent, except for the weight of the shipping. So the VA that was doing it was totally jacking up my shipping on like Mercari, and Mercari, you can't change the weight after the sale. So that was the biggest thing about the VA with cross posting for me. But List Perfectly carries over the weight for you if you have the business. So my mom does all my cross posting now. And as far as listing, they're excited, Tiffany. It's okay.
Someone's at the door.
Katrina said, who let the dogs out? So as far as listing, my stance on that is kind of, if I have to take all the pictures, I feel like pictures are about 75% of the work. So if I take the pictures, I'm going to list it. So like paying $2 a listing where I have to take the pictures, I don't feel like is a good deal. That's just my opinion. I think the pictures are the majority of the work. And yeah, I've known some people who've done it. I don't know if Clay's here. Clay's Closet would take the pictures and send it to a service, and he was really happy with it. But me, again, if I take the pictures, I'm gonna list it. Northwoods Flipper says, any suggestions on what to do with found photos from the early 2000s to now?
What to do with them? You want to sell them? People buy pictures. You'd be surprised. Many people do junk journals. You can sell them in lots, separate them by subject matter. It depends what platform you're on. If you're on eBay, by subject matter, whatnot, you could probably bring them a choice, sell them picture by picture. I don't know if you're hoping to return them to their owner. Sometimes people leave photos in storage lockers, and when they lose the storage locker, that has to be devastating if they've lost all their family pictures. So sometimes it's possible, if you can do a search on names or anything that's distinguishable, it might be possible to return albums or pictures.
I think
the question wasn't clear with what you exactly wanted to do with them.
I think Kat would probably know most about selling pictures, but or what is it? The something professor. What is his name?
Auction
The
professor.
auction professor.
Yes. Anything before 2004 is considered vintage now. So you could list photos as vintage, ephemera, and other than that, I'm going to give it to Rod.
So I have sold pictures in the past. The biggest thing is the content of the pictures, and depending where you got them from. Like if you got those pictures from, you bought a storage unit, you're supposed to return those photos. So it just depends where you got those photos. But when you're selling photos, biggest thing is content, pop culture, location is always key. Just look for different themes. That's what people look for when they do buy photos, stuff like that. If it's nothing, I would say since they're still fairly new, I would say, you could put vintage on them if they're early, like she said, before 2004. But I guess it really comes down to the content. They're long tail items, so you put them up, you list it, and you forget it, and then someone's going to eventually buy it. Someone might buy it for a project, someone could buy it for who knows what, but that's usually what I do with my vintage photos. I just list them and forget, and then eventually someone buys them.
Yeah, and I agree with everybody. Like if there's like a dog or if there's kids fishing, if there's a theme you can keyword, I would pull those out and sell them separately. You probably can get like $5 to $10, and then I would lot up the rest of them. Like you have to be able to keyword photos to be able to sell them. That's the key with photos. So if there's something you can keyword, an interest or a place, then you could do that. Otherwise, I would just put them all together, but they definitely are going to be longer tail for sure.
Especially since you bought them from a storage unit and the owner passed away and the family doesn't want them. If there's anything very interesting in there, since you already kind of know the origin of where they came from, you can always reach out to them to ask questions as well if you need any additional information. But I mean, that's probably the best thing, just what everyone said, just list it and forget it.
Yeah. Kelly says, I created a 20% off coupon for bundles of 5 or more. I'm assuming she means on eBay. Customer bought 5 items, tried to use the coupon code, but it didn't discount. I had to refund her the 20%. I don't see a question in here. Maybe she's asking if any of us have had this issue or dealt with this.
I wonder if your coupon was for everything in your store, possibly. Did she buy something that wasn't included? Really not sure. Have you had that happen, Kat?
So I have had it where I couldn't use the coupon, and that's why I don't do coupons. So I had it where I saw in a store, just like she's saying so I had it on her buyer's end where I tried to use the code and it wouldn't work. So that's why that's one of the reasons I don't do coupons. Rachel, do you use coupons?
I don't, but I also know that it possibly could have something to do if it was an international shipment as well. But I think that it was a great option to be able to refund the 20% because it's basically the same thing. If they're willing to pay for it and willing to get the refund and they trust you, I think that's a good way to solve that.
Yeah, so I don't really use coupons, so I would just did the same thing you did, just manually issue the refund. I mean, that's going to be a one-off. Normally you're not going to have many people that come in and use a coupon to buy 5 items at a time. So
Yeah, unless you're selling a bunch of like the same type of like toys or something, they would buy mass. I would say, like, if I did create something like this, I would think like maybe a bundle of 3 or more would be better. I don't know what you're selling. But I think 5 is quite a bit. And maybe like Tiffany said, maybe some didn't get included in the coupon or something. If even only one of them did, that could be why it didn't work possibly. But I had issues with them before. If you do a buy it now, ooh, that's interesting. If you do a buy it now, the coupon will not work. So they would have to add them all to their cart. They would have to add them to the cart and then check out. So if they bought them all separately, that would explain it. Rocks to Be Me says, how do you get more buyers to provide feedback on eBay?
I always leave feedback as soon as I've shipped my item. And as soon as the item arrives, if they haven't left me feedback, I just drop them a little note, just checking back. Have you received your item? Are you pleased with it? If so, I'd really appreciate your feedback. It's just a quick cut and paste. I don't do that as much now because I've got enough feedbacks to where it doesn't really affect me. But if you're trying to build your feedback, that's a really good way. Also, buying everything you need on eBay is a really good way to increase your feedbacks as a buyer. Buy your pens, buy labels, stickers, whatever you need, get it on eBay. That way your feedback numbers will increase from the sellers you buy from, leaving you positive feedback for buying from them.
So what you want to do is you want to get a big sheet of paper, start writing a lovely handwritten note all the way to the bottom, cry some tears onto it, have some tear stains, get your children to draw some pictures as well, and then you send the whole bundle off to them, and that will do it. I'm just kidding. But what I actually had done before, when I first started reselling, I wanted feedback. I literally handmade a little lavender sachet with a stamp of Lilyworks on every single. I made these. I sewed them. Okay, you guys, like how like really, I can't even imagine. But at the time, I'm like, I'm gonna do this forever. Everyone's gonna get a little lavender sachet. And no. The biggest thing you can do is just buy on eBay and get that feedback. Honestly, that's the fastest thing you can do. Easiest thing you can do. And then what Tiffany said is you turn on automatic leave feedback, and right when the person buys it, I have like 5 things that it scrolls through, like, thank you so much for your purchase, your business means so much to me, thank you for supporting small business, or whatever. Even if they're a terrible buyer, it still gets left for them, and they're like, wow, you left me feedback, and then they will leave you feedback as well.
Yeah, so when it comes to, if you're a new eBay seller, what people don't realize is buyers just look at the overall number. They don't look if you bought or sold something. So I always recommend people going to eBay, if you want to build up your feedback, buy sports cards. And the reason why I say this is sports cards are only, you can buy them for $1 and the shipping is 50 cents. So that's a good way. You can find 20 different sellers, buy sports cards, and get a big boost if you're new on eBay to boost up your feedback on there. As a seller wise, the only thing that I recommend that you can do is have automatic feedback turned on. So as soon as someone pays it, you automatically leave them feedback, automatically sends them the tracking information. Also too is you can get stickers made or go to, you can print something off on your computer and put it in with like a thank you note with every single package. It says that, thank you for the purchase. If you're happy with it, please leave us positive feedback. We've already left you feedback. That's just a constant reminder for your buyer when they do receive it. And it looks nice too, though. More professional, a nice thank you note. So that would be my recommendations of trying to boost your feedback up right in the beginning.
I will tell you, as a buyer, that card goes straight in the trash and I still don't leave you feedback. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I'm like, why are they putting all this crap in my package? Like, I don't want it. If I want to leave feedback, I'll leave feedback. I would like her lavender sachet, though. I would like the lavender sachet. I wouldn't throw that away. And I wouldn't throw away a rock because I love rocks. But as a general rule, I would say most people are not going to pay attention to that. I don't want more feedback. If they don't say anything, they didn't leave me negative feedback. Okay, that's all I care about. I get a ton of feedback, but I sell a lot. Like the percent is probably 20 to 25%, I think is what you could probably expect to get. If you're new, you could do all of that. And I did in the beginning, but after the beginning, I don't want to hear from them because most of the time when I hear from them, they're complaining. So that's just me being completely honest. We bought cards. I think I still have some sitting up here. And I forgot to put them in the boxes. So I was well-intentioned. They said the nurse flipper, thank you for your purchase. Follow me on YouTube. And they're here 2.5 years later. Because we couldn't get in the habit. I even tried to train Lynn to put them in, and she can't remember, and she's not even been doing it that long.
Brad puts them in the whatnot packages. He's very good.
No, that's not Brad. That's Brooke.
That's Brooke. We get stickers every time.
Yes, Brooke does the whatnot packages, so she is good at them. But on the eBay side, we're not. I feel like whatnot's more personal though, because I'm talking to everybody and showing them it. So that's why I think it's important. That's why I think it's important to do it for whatnot, if that makes sense. It's more personal. Like I'm hanging out with them 2 hours, and yeah, I want to hang out with them, and I want them to come back. Jackie said, what did you all sell for St. Patrick's Day? Does Irish jewelry sell or Irish pottery?
As you all know, if you watch my channel, I sell holiday stuff, and I list it all year long. Christmas, Valentine's, Halloween, Thanksgiving. Holiday stuff is a big seller for me. I'm just trying to think. I think I had a little leprechaun, sorry, dogs, leprechaun figurine that sold out in my store, and some little shamrock string lights. Not a huge holiday seller for me. I tend to focus a lot more on Easter right now, and I think Easter is going to get put up on Whatnot and on eBay. But yeah, if you're looking for ideas to sell, seasonal items, no matter what the season, always do well for me.
So yes, I definitely think that jewelry does sell around holidays. I am very mindful of the holiday that's coming up. So Valentine's Day, I was listing hearts like nobody's business, and it was selling. And it didn't matter if it was like cheap Target hearts, it was selling. I would say that if something has been sitting in my store, I need to remind myself this, but if something's been sitting in my store that does better around a holiday, I would just wiggle the price a little bit to give it some eyeballs on it. I did that with a hard good, you guys. I sold a hard good. I sold a new in a box Jim Shore Easter basket thing with all the eggs and everything in it. And all I did was I moved the price a little bit. And because I know Easter's coming up, I should bring my kids. I'm just kidding. But yeah, just I wiggled the price a little bit and it sold right away. And I think that helps to be mindful of the holidays coming up and your pricing.
So for me, I actually sell holiday items all year round. So I don't just specifically put items up during special times a year. I mean, I will make it a priority if I do get them in. But I mean, from my experience, Christmas, Halloween, St. Patty's Day, Valentine's Day, stuff sells all year round. So I would just list it up. And when the right buyer comes by, because certain people collect certain things, and they will sell all year round.
Yeah, so I didn't really sell anything for St. Patrick's Day. I do have a few things that we're getting up for Easter. I got in vintage Easter candles that were 15 cents and have their original paper tags on them. I'm going to sell them as a lot. They are super cool, never burn, like bunnies and a little like Easter chick. So I'm super excited about those. But I'm like Rod. I list the holiday stuff year round. I don't pick it up specifically for the holidays, and I just list it as I get it. I wanted to put this up real quick. Katrina said,
sorry.
Let me grab it. No, you're okay. Katrina said, treat your customers the way you want to be treated. So I want nothing in my package. I want it to arrive to me safely and in a prompt, timely manner. That's what I want. That's what I do.
I want
so
gift cards.
Do not buy from me. You can get a sticker if you buy on Whatnot. You can get a sticker. But I think the main thing is shipping on time and getting it to them safely. Like that is the most important thing, is that you ship it safely and you ship it on time. That is what really, really matters. If you do the extra stuff and you have the time, some people will appreciate it. Some people will not. So just be prepared that you might put all this time in and you might not see a return that you expect, I guess I should say. Now, we kept it at the same time. Me and Rod are on sync. Resell to Ride sent a $5 super sticker and said, I want to have stickers made of my YouTube logo. What's your favorite company to use that is relatively cheap with good quality? I need to order more stickers.
On Kat's recommendation, I actually just got an order. It's Sticker Mule. And these are actually magnets. And then I got some, what did I get? I got some stickers, the same. They're really inexpensive, and Kat turned me on to them because they have a special. Is it once a month, Kat?
It's every week. So you can go and get their special every week.
Yeah,
it's a
crazy.
Different thing.
Yeah,
every
week.
I
got it was like $29 instead of $79 for a whole bunch of die cut stickers like this, which it's a really great deal. And they do keychains. They do.
I can give you guys a $10 credit. I'm putting it in the.
Oh chat. Yeah.
Here, you get a $10 credit off your first sticker order if you use that.
But don't you make your own now, Kat, as well?
So we make our thank you stickers that go on our poly mailers. But the Nurse Flipper, because we print them with a thermal. But the Nurse Flipper stickers, because they're color, we use.
Sticker Mule.
And they have coasters. They have all kinds of stuff. Rachel, who do you use?
I'm like looking for the name. I have all these things. Whatever starts with Z. What is it? I keep thinking of Zillow, Zappo, Zed. I don't know. All the Z's, but it's not any of those. You guys know. Put it down in the chat. It starts with the Z.
I thought it's. Are you thinking of Vistaprint?
No. It starts with a Z. And there's
it was close.
There's no branding on the branding, you guys. Not helping me. But I don't do stickers, but I'm thinking of it. They also do Zazzle. Okay, you win. Cape Cod resellers, you're the winner. I just do cards, which I'm thinking I can just do a little sticker of like this here. Because I do write a little thing on the other side. I do like using these because I like them. And they also provide extra cushion for your jewelry because they go in the box like this and then it like squishes. So I think I'm going to just keep using these forever. And then my girls are my helpers. They're 3 and 4 and they put stickers on the packages. So I'm thinking, yeah, I will probably be using stickers pretty soon with the Lilyworks logo. So I might
Dalton likes to do that too. Dalton will sticker up the boxes.
Yeah,
too.
Well, when they want to help him, like, here you go. There.
So I'm actually having graphics made right now. So I will be having some stickers. So this is great information, but I'm going to pass it to Kat because I'm actually looking for sticker companies myself.
Yeah, no, Tiffany nailed it on the head. I actually buy 2,000 at a time, and I'm buying 2,000 more right now because we're almost out of them.
What's the cost per item, if you don't mind me asking?
So $2,000 for 1-inch stickers. I'm paying it now is $335. So what is that? Like 1.7 cents each? 2 cents a piece.
That's good.
But I told Tiffany about it because I got keychains. So once a week they'll change their promo. It might be coasters this week, and they did t-shirts a couple weeks ago. So if you're smaller and just starting, just do their promo. Just do their promo and get your logo done. They have a lot of different, they have tape, they have all kinds of things. Look, Tiffany's
I got the
ThriftingVegas
t-shirt, Kat. The special, it was 12 bucks. Yeah. 12
I was getting like the weekly thing forever. I haven't been doing it, but yeah,
and also with that, if you're on Whatnot, it's a great thing to put in your buy it now. Then people can get a discounted shipping on subsequent purchases because it's so lightweight. A sticker, if you put it in there for $3 or $4, they pay inexpensive shipping because it's lightweight, and then they get a discount on items they're going to bid on in your actual sale. You can try out all different products.
All right. Oh, I saw that. I was going to put it up. I got to remember to give her Dolphin though. Lisa, I would take a sachet over a sticker any day, but could you imagine sewing 500 sachets a week?
More than that.
I want to know, and I'm sure there are people that buy from me and Tiffany and whatnot. What do you people do with your stickers? But I told people if you gather like 100, I'll buy them back.
I know a lot of people put them on their bins, like their inventory bins. So that's what or their like shipping stations and stuff like that. That's really common.
I have my shed door. Yeah, I have my shed door covered in other content creator stickers. Not this door, but my other one's like a solid white panel. And I have cards from like John Cincinnati Picker, Matt Part-Time Pickers. Congrats on 500 subscribers on my shed door. So that I do that as well. All right, Resell to Ride. Here is your Dolphin. Resell to Ride's coming on with us too. Going to be on the panel with us soon.
Nice.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, there was some. Oh, that's what I think it was. Cindy's granddaughter likes to play with the ones for me. John puts them on his laptop.
She puts hers on a
light box. Yeah. You could.
Sandy, my flipping van life, she has them all over her van. Right?
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, she likes the stickers that say fragile.
See, I am anti putting a fragile sticker on a box because I think that puts a target on it. That is my opinion on that.
It's pronounced.
I think it's going to encounter an angered postal worker who's going to drop kick it. I do not put fragile. If you get fragile on a box for me, it's because it was on a box that came to me that way. That's the only way you'll get a fragile sticker from me.
I love it. I need one of those big lamps from the movie.
Yeah, we print our stickers though, guys. You can print them if you don't want in color. And they have, I just got more rolls of the thermal turquoise and pink. You can print stickers like I print do not bin. Now we do put do not bin on photos and see? We put do not bin on photos and license plates because they will bin them and shove them into people's mailbox. So we do put do not bins. Miss Jackie wants to know, do you have to list every day on Etsy the way you do on eBay?
I don't sell on Etsy anymore, but I don't think that's really the case. When people are searching for an item on Etsy, it's usually something specific. So I'm probably going to defer to the other panelists, but I don't think it's as critical to list every day on Etsy.
So I don't think it's critical either. However, I do have to applaud Etsy's advertising because I don't know if you guys have ever used Google Lens, but so many Etsy pictures pop up before any eBay pictures pop up. So I feel like most of my buyers are coming from the Google search. And if you look, you can even look at your look at your buyers and where they're coming from. And so many of them are just finding what they want to find on Google and going right to that listing through Etsy. My Etsy items don't have any discount. My eBay, I will send out offers. They're priced higher on Etsy. So it's so surprising to me when I get Etsy sales that they're just flat out buying it. They can't make me an offer. I'm not making them an offer. But I think that they do have an edge up on the Google search, and because my Google Lens has told me that that's what pops up first. But besides that, I have not noticed listing every day as being a necessary thing.
So Etsy does follow a computer program just like all the other platforms. So it does reward when people are listing or more active on the platform. Now, do you need to list daily like you do on eBay? That I don't know, but I know that, you know, the guy that was on last week is specialized in Etsy, and he does say that they do like activity. So I would say the answer would that be yes. You know, they do like activity.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up as well. If you didn't watch last week's show, LL from Handmade and Beyond was on, and he is an Etsy pro. So there were a lot of Etsy tips given in last week's Tuesday Night Live, and he said you should try to list daily. Like Rod said, any platform, the more activity you have and the more consistent you are, the more sales you're going to see. But on that note, my mom only cross posts Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I only have listings going up on Etsy those 3 days. But my Etsy sales have been slow. I used to do like Rachel, where I have it, and I still have everything marked up, but now I'm running a constant sale on Etsy because I wasn't getting any sales. I actually have contemplated dropping Etsy as a platform. I am really on the fence because I think we had 2 sales last week, and I'm wondering if it's worth the time and the 20 cents per listing to put stuff up there. Because quarterly. I can't be more like, maybe I'll hand pick them, you know, take a bunch down and hand pick them versus having my mom just do everything and start tagging because I don't tag. But yeah, so I think we probably would have more sales if we were listing more than just those 3 days close together. I bet. Cleo, I called you Kilo. Cleo says, I'm a top-rated seller, 23 items sold, 100% feedback, 13 years on eBay, and yesterday I got the message that my payments are on hold and they are doing a periodic performance review. Have any of you heard of this? So answer this in the chat for Cleo as well, please.
That's interesting. Gosh, I haven't come across that. I haven't heard of that. Have you had any issues from buyers or anything like that? Has anybody else heard of that?
We're doomed.
You know, Rachel, no? So what eBay does is, depending on what type of items you're selling, like for example, if you're selling like Nike shoes, you're selling some high-end items, purses, stuff like that, they can pull your account to make sure, if you're selling high volumes of items, to make sure that counterfeit or stolen, and they can pull your account. They ask that they'll do a performance review, and they can actually ask for like proof of purchase, receipts, orders, inventory orders, wholesale orders, everything like that. So that may be what's going on there. I'm not sure. Let me know in the chat what exactly you're selling or what kind of items you're selling. And because you are selling, I mean, you sold 23,000 items. So, I mean, you're selling a lot of stuff. That would be the only thing I could possibly think of. If you haven't had any warnings or anything like that before that, it's just that you might be doing a high volume in certain categories, and they are looking just to double check and pull your account, because it would be considered a high risk for eBay, depending on the category that you're selling.
Oh,
yeah.
Jewelry. Oh. If you're doing a lot of copying and pasting from other listings, make sure you're taking off the metal. as gold, because a lot of times it's transferring over. If it's a gold tone, it will transfer over the metal as like gold or silver. Take that out when you go through your item specifics. You don't have to put anything. Just unclick that. You don't even have to type in gold tone or whatever, because I think a lot of people are getting flagged because their item specifics, or even like you're not putting gold tone and you're just putting gold. I've heard a lot of people getting triggered with jewelry in that way.
Let me know in the chat too. Also, have you reached out to eBay and have any type of feedback from customer service in regards to this situation? Or, I kind of need a little bit more information to kind of dig deeper on this for you, but I'll let Kat take it from here.
Yeah, I will tell you, I would be pissed off if that happened to me right now with where I'm at. I would be mad. Yeah, I would reach out to eBay for Business on Facebook is what I would do if this happened to me. But I haven't heard of it. I see Heather saying she got a message saying she needed to update account in order to avoid issues with payouts. Yeah, Cleo said I am pissed. I would be too. I would be very, very ticked off. Message eBay for Business on Facebook. They're pretty good about responding, and I would ask for a reason. But a lot of times those suckers won't give you a reason, so I don't know that I would expect you to get an answer. But man, that would.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends if they're buying from like a wholesaler or if you're just buying one-off items. I mean, you're selling 23,000 items. That's a lot of items per year that you're selling. So I would be curious to kind of see where you're dig down a little bit deeper, where you're getting your items from, because that would be the only thing that would say that they're gonna, if you have type of proof of purchase or something along those lines. Hopefully, it's not that. It's just,
She said it was like collectibles and antique, like I wouldn't think would trigger that.
She also said jewelry though, so that's why I was just wondering if she sold a high number of jewelry, and if
it's like Tiffany and Co. and stuff. Constantly revising, relisting, and finding new stuff. Yvonne Thrifty Rich is in the house, my good friend. Hi. Hi, Yvonne. Let's see. Deja Vu, that is Miss Rachel. I believe Rachel and Rachel. You can tell me if I'm wrong. Deja Vu has been hanging out on my whatnot. I think her name is Rachel. How long did it take you to reach 1,000 subscribers? I've been stuck at 750 for 2 weeks.
How long did it take me? It took me, I think, 15 months. I was pregnant, had a baby. It took a while. But basically I went onto Kat's channel. I don't know if you guys heard of it. And I went and I begged and I cried for people. And then Rod kept saying, check your subscribers. They're growing. And it grew like by 300, honestly. And I was bawling and crying. You guys need to watch that. And then it was a magical thing. And it's like a reseller fairy tale dream come true. So that's what I honestly can't give you any more than that. But besides that, definitely consistency. Then once I did hit 1,000, I was like, okay, I'll start looking at analytics. What are people interested in? What are people watching? And I noticed like people like ThriftingVegas. I'm like, how did she get so many so fast? Right? Maybe she should be the one that we're asking. I'm just kidding. But
listen, Froggy Flip started at the same time as me, and he has 400,000. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. But for me, I think it's relaxing watching YouTubers that can be consistent. And also, like, I put on like ThriftingVegas and Kat, Rod. Yeah, I watch Rod. I'm just kidding. I watch people that like, only women, I guess. I watch people that are
a lot of women only watch women. I lean the other way.
I have 0% male subscribers. And so I went to my husband and I was like, you're not subscribed? Because I'm at 0% male subscribers.
My husband is subscribed.
But yeah, the consistency part. And I think in the reseller world, we like to watch things where we can learn, but also listen to while we're working, because that's what we're doing, honestly. So that's kind of, Ask all the other people, not me.
We can go through and answer. Tiffany, do you remember how long it took you to get to 1,000 subscribers?
Oh, goodness. It was ridiculous. It was fast, really fast. I only started. When did I start? I think it was February 2021.
The people love her. She's wonderful.
It's my fake accent.
It is. It is. I am swooning.
I knew it.
Speak with an accent, you guys.
It makes you sound more professional. It honestly does. It totally does.
Somebody commented they were English and they're like, if you need any English voiceover, but I'm like, what would people think if all of a sudden my voiceovers are in an accent?
That's funny. For me, it took me, I think, 6 months to hit 1,000 subs. And then after that, but I was also putting out, half my content was like comic book content. And the other half was like reselling content. So the algorithm was getting pulled in both, two different ways. It wasn't until I just switched to just doing strictly reselling content is where I really saw my channel just take off. But only piece of advice gives you is try to increase your videos by 1% each time. Make it 1% better than the last video, and take a look at your analytics. See what's hitting, see what's not. That's the biggest thing to do, because what's working, you want to piggyback off that and keep going. And then once you build up momentum, it just takes one video. And Kat's one video took off, and she got a ton of subs from that.
Teacups.
Yeah, the teacup video.
I do want to say that if you are not monetized or part of the YouTube studio, you can't really see the same analytics that we're talking about, because all of a sudden I was like, oh, it's a whole new world, because they want you to succeed then. Like before that, they're like, she's going to fail. And then once you get accepted into the program, you can see a lot more. So, you'll be able to see a lot more. I guess I'm not helping at all. Listen to the other people. Proceed.
I think it took me like 6 months or so, like I said. It might have even been a little bit longer. It took a while, and then my teacup video last year in the middle of the year gained me like 40,000 subscribers last year. So I flew by. But like I was mentioning, Anthony with Froggy Flips started at the same time as me and has over 400,000 subscribers. I will also tell you there are people who started with me who still have not hit 1,000. So everybody's going to grow at their own rate. So that's important. Don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to you and try and improve on your numbers. I would say I did upload daily like a crazy maniac to try and get to 1,000, because I was like, more videos. So there's that. And I will tell the biggest thing for me, and anybody that was around my channel in the beginning, I was everywhere. So like this chat, I was in Harry Tornado's live every time. I was in Rally Roots every lot. No, because I did more and they sucked. No, don't do teacup. Like, you got to find your own teacups. My follow-up teacup videos did not do good. But I was in every single live. And when I say that, I mean 40 hours a week. Everywhere you went, you would see the nurse flipper. Like, people probably got sick of seeing my name, but they all knew who I was. So if you really want to grow, you have to put time and effort into it. And that is commenting on other channels. That is going in live chats like this one. It's a lot of work. YouTube is by far a full-time job if you are putting a ton of time into it. And for me, it is a full-time job. So I hope those tips help. It
also helps, Kat, to be on other social media like Instagram. If you have an Instagram, drive your traffic to YouTube. Put little clips up. Post pictures of what you find. This will appear in my YouTube. Come see how I found this. Just use every platform. If you're on Facebook, use Facebook. Just get the word out. If you're standing in line in Goodwill, I have a channel. Just talk to everybody. Let everybody know. And
also, I was going to say is make sure that you enjoy the process and that you're authentic, because if you're fake, people can see right through that. There's so many, channels I've watched where people fake. It's a turn off. So make sure you enjoy the process, because even though I'm monetized, even though I get paid on YouTube and I have almost 3,500 subscribers now, I lose money every time I create a video because it takes away from listing, it takes away from sourcing, it takes away from this thing. So the biggest thing I tell a lot of people until you start making it big on YouTube is make sure you enjoy the process. That's the biggest thing. And you enjoy, and it's a passion project for you because it's a drag, it's a grind. You know, it took me to hit over 100 videos before I hit my first video broke 10,000, you know, and it's a grind. But now the momentum's going. I'm getting multiple videos that are doing that now. So, you know, you just got to keep putting the work in.
I want to say, I think all of us were organic. I do not recommend paying for subscribers. I do not recommend doing sub for sub. And like, we got Rachel to 1,000 here on the show. We have got many people over the years to 1,000. We've got people to 10,000. We have hit some milestones because we have a big audience in this show every week. So people that come on do gain subscribers. But here's the thing. They can come on the show and gain subscribers all they want. But like, this show can't make those subscribers stay or watch them. So after that point, it's up to them whether you're going to keep them or they're going to jump ship. So like me, as I was coming up, I got a couple of big shout outs, but you better be on your game. If somebody like, and I'll tell you, us talking about you tonight will probably give you a bump. That would be my guess. But you better be on your game and have that content coming out once you get those new eyeballs, because you need to hold them. You need to hold them. And that is the big thing. I wanted to put this up because Katrina asked Mark when he was going to put up videos. Mark is OG&Z, and that is his channel name, OG&Z. Hopefully he will give us some longer content, but he does have shorts up. So if you guys want to go follow OG&Z, and also Marsha, Red Cardinal Treasures, those are the two helping us moderate tonight. I appreciate both of them very, very much. Marsha is having a big beach jewelry sale on Whatnot on Thursday night at 6:15, I think. Marsha, correct me if I'm wrong. So if you like beachy jewelry, Marsha, Red Cardinal Treasures over on Whatnot, go check out her stuff. I think we get this question every week. Miss Eileen said, how are everyone's sales? I have been slow lately.
I'm same as usual, just plugging away. Just if your sales are slow, keep listing. List consistently. If you're on a social platform, get some pictures out. Hey, this is available on eBay. Please check out my eBay store. Just get as many eyes on your platforms as you can. You know, sales are going to be what you make them. List more. If you don't have anything else to list, go in, tweak your items, make sure your titles make sense. Make sure your titles read how somebody would be looking for an item. If you're looking for an item, what would you type in to find that item? That's how your titles want to be. Make sure your pictures are great. Pictures are the first thing people see. That's by far and away the thing that will sell your item is an excellent picture. You know, don't lose heart. Sales will pick up if you're consistent and your listings are excellent.
So I'm Rich. Go subscribe if you want to find out how. And but I am on YouTube. I am doing my what sold over the weekend video every week, and that kind of tells you how that week is going. And I would say my sales are they're not like super high, but I also am not attributing to it to the time. I know that like I said, I've been only like delisting and relisting, and I was gone for 4 days. So I don't really notice a big difference besides that. And I am not rich by any means because I'm living generously, you guys. So, yeah.
So eBay definitely changed something with the algorithm in the past week or so. Yeah, and the good way to always tell about that is if you go on YouTube, you search other resellers out there, popular resellers, if multiple people are putting out videos about how sales have been slow for them, it's usually across the board. So my sales have been down the past week. I'm probably down about $1,000 than I would normally. So that's a big drop off. But at the same point in time is, it's a marathon, not a race. Yes, my week sales might be down, but if I keep listing, I keep doing all the things that you're supposed to do, I will see that make up in the next following weeks or something like that. Because the algorithm just needs to relearn every single time, every time they update or change things. So sometimes it may take a week, sometimes it may take 2. You just got to keep listing, be consistent.
Yeah, and mine are down about 800 for the week compared to where we normally are, and we're down 10% from last month. They are starting to pick up. And somebody emailed me and said, like, should I jump ship now? The economy's bailing. I think people are always going to be buying, and you might have to change what you're buying as it changes. You might have to pay attention to what's selling more and pick up more of that. I am doing Whatnot. Somebody questioned me last night. You're a reseller. Why are you selling this stuff? Well, I'm selling this stuff because it's the fast nickel over a slow dime. And I sold a Tiffany for $100 to Miss Barbara. I know she got a $500 offer already. I don't look it up. I start everything at $2, and there is money to be made. But I make my money in a day. I list it and it's sold. That's why. I don't have to wait 4 months, 6 months, a year for this stuff to sell. That is why. Where did it go? When is my Whatnot? So my Whatnot show is every day of the week. Except for Tuesday. We take off Tuesday and Saturday. Normally this week we're taking off Tuesday and Sunday because I'm part of a big event, Bling into Spring, on Saturday. So this week we're doing 8 p.m. because Dalton is on spring break. So I wanted to do it a little bit earlier because he can stay up late and join us. And he will call the shows this week. If you have not been in there, he is entertaining. He calls the shows. He tells you the start. He tells you how long. He is a little auctioneer. And then lately he's been saying, can I get $5? Can somebody bid $5? Like, he's calling it like an auctioneer. He is a hot mess, and it's so funny. So tomorrow, 8 p.m., Thursday, 8 p.m., and right now I have 5 more shows of amazing vintage sterling jewelry, Navajo pieces, Zuni pieces. There is good stuff. There's good stuff. I bought 50 pounds. There's good stuff for the next week at least, and I'm watching more, so I intend on keeping that up. So now, Jolie Flip says, I have eBay. I sell well on it sometimes, but some things sit very long. Do you recommend auction first with a low starting bid or profit buy it now? She's asking Tiffany, but I think we can round robin this one because you might get some good answers.
Hey, Sam. Sam and Adam are out of Boca Raton, Florida. They just started a YouTube channel, and it's really good. Good question. That's a really, really good question. The only time I am going to do an auction is if I can't find the item and I don't know what it's worth, or I have a feeling it's going to go high. So what I'll do first is I will set a buy it now for super high, ridiculously high, way higher than I think. And this will give me a clue. If I get some offers, it'll give me a ballpark of where I need to be. If I get no offers, I know I'm too high or it's not desirable. This is for something I have no clue what it is. I can't find it anywhere. I just don't know. And then once I've got an idea, if I get a high offer, I might take it. Depending on what the offers come in at, it gives me an idea. And then I might do an auction starting like a little bit under the lowest offer if I feel like it's really desirable. For somebody starting out, I don't recommend auctions. I don't at all. Most people these days on eBay are looking to get what they want right now. They want to buy it. They want to bag it. They want it sent to them immediately. I would. Very, very few of my sales are auctions.
So as far as things that have been sitting very long, like I said, I'm delisting, relisting, and I'm having a lot of success with that. And I have tried to clear out inventory doing like the starting bid type of thing. And I wouldn't recommend it because the things that we're picking up for a reason. The things that I just wanted to clear out were probably more like things from my own closet that didn't have a name attached to it, or I didn't see any good comps attached to it. And I guess I'm also a big proponent or advocate of not lowering like the market, because a lot of people will want to get a lot of traction in their eBay store, so they undercut everybody, and then it starts making things that are worth money to start lowering in value and decreasing in value. So if you have things that you've picked up for reselling, I would suggest pricing it at the market and waiting. And then if you want things to start selling quickly, like at auction, and you just want to get rid of stuff, like maybe not pick those things that are that you picked up for a good reason to resell and you have a good price on them. So definitely I'm the buy it now kind of girl.
So when I first started out on eBay, all we had was auctions, but when they did bring it to buy it nows, that's all I do is buy it nows. And the reason for that is kind of like Tiffany said earlier is people want it. They want instant gratification. They're going to buy it. They're searching for it. They're impulse to buy. eBay is a big impulse website, just like Amazon. Why Amazon's so good, because you can buy it and get it within the same day or the next day. So not a lot of people, like, if they want something to buy and you have a 7-day auction, a 5-day auction, 10-day auction, like a lot of people aren't going to wait unless it's a rare item. Then you can put it up for auction. But I would say the only thing I normally use auctions for is if I'm trying to lot up items just because I don't want to do the research on them, and I have a low cost in them and I just want them to move. Or if I'm just clearing out inventory, I'll maybe bulk it up to help increase the price per item and just sell it off there. But I mean, normally I would say buy it nows are going to be the way to go, because you can quick move items with buy it nows. Auctions is going to be hit or miss. Be prepared to, if you do list auction, maybe list at the least amount you want to take, because you may be very disappointed. And I've seen that happen to a lot of sellers.
Yeah, so if you want to start at a low starting bid, expect to get a low price. If you watch my what sold videos, I have stuff that sells after a year, 2 years. So if you're buying like I buy, I will tell you I buy over half long tail items because it's what I like. So if you are buying like that, then you need to be prepared for either it to take a long time or not to make much money. But they still, like I said, you might get a starting bid. So I agree with Rod. I always tell people start with the lowest price you're willing to take. I sold a Shriner brooch on auction a month ago. That's my last auction. I started it at $599 and I got one bid, $599. I was happy with it. I paid $400. So I would also say check your pricing. I did some store reviews and a couple of people's pricing was way high. And I'm talking 3 times what other comps were. Go back, check your comps. You might be priced way too high. Make sure you're pricing to eBay sold. Do not price to Etsy for eBay. Do not do that because Etsy sells higher. If you price at Etsy prices on eBay, you're not going to sell. So be very, very careful about that. Clay, my good friend Clay over at Clay's Closet sent a $4.99 super chat and said, as a runner, I giggle when folks say it's a marathon, not a sprint, knowing most have no clue how far a marathon is, which is, I understand why it is a long game. This is not a fast game. This is not a fast return. Unless you can go find popular stuff. If you can, more power to you. I cannot on a big scale find very popular items. So good luck to you on that. Some people can. If you're in a big city, you might be able. When I went to Miami, I found tons of like Nike and name brand stuff, and it sold fast. If I lived in Miami, I think I would do well. All right, let me get Clay. I don't want to live in Miami. I will never live in Miami, by the way. All right, Clay, here is your dolphin. Thank you so much. Dun, 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 dun. Miss Gail wants to know if any of us have used I think she means Presidium gemstone metal tester.
I have not.
Yes, I have. Shall I explain? Okay. This is what it is. This is a Presidium gem tester right here. This is what she's talking about. It will run you more than $200 for this. And what you're going to want to do is you use this little pen. It tests, I think, the heat output or something like that a gemstone gives off. The little needle right here will tell you where it's at, as far as if it's a sapphire, a ruby, a diamond, a jadeite, garnet, things like that. And it's based off of like the heat that the stone is giving off. Sometimes it could be a little bit off, so you could be unsure. Then you can just look up the stones like, okay, this is a green stone, but it is close to jadeite, but not quite hitting it. It's probably a jade stone because this thing can be a little bit futzy. It's not perfect. It's not, you're not going to be an expert gemologist getting a Presidium gem tester, but if you want something and you're really serious about getting into jewelry and testing gems, I definitely would recommend it because it is accurate most of the time, or it will give you a good roundabout of where you are on the testing scale. And if it will definitely give you an accurate reading on diamonds 100% of the time. But some of the other stones, it depends on how big it is. And like if you've handled it too much with your own hands and things like that. So you're not going to be a professional, but if you're serious about it, I would recommend it.
I'll pass it to you, Kat.
I've used it twice. I spent $200 and I used it 2 times, and it's sitting in my cabinet. I might be willing to sell you a used one for cheap if you want it. I haven't used it a ton. That's the whole processing 500 things a week type of thing.
And if someone wants to buy it, how would they contact you?
nurseflipper@yahoo.com.
There you guys go.
I have an email at my website and I never check it. So please, if you email me there, you might hear from me in like a month. I'm not going to lie. I don't check Kat at thenurseflipper.com. I check the Nurse Flipper at Yahoo every day. Miss Selena wants to know, and she was asking John, but I thought we could cover this because this is a new thing I actually saw yesterday. So eBay now has what they call a dynamic rate, and your promotion rate changes every day. So that is what it is. So I'm answering your question with a statement. I just changed mine to that. And I think it's good because some stuff's going to go down. You might, promote it at 8%, but next month it's down to 6%. I would recommend capping it. I cap at 10% for my promoted listings, but that is new. Now they have a dynamic promoted rate for those of you that don't know, and you can have it change daily. Like it'll go up and down with the average for eBay. Set a cap if you don't want like a 20% promoted rate on something, set a cap. I don't know the answer to this. Maybe somebody else will. Jackie wants to know if Stephen King still sells well. She said hers used to do well, but right now they're sitting.
Personally, I don't sell a whole lot of books. The books that I mainly sell are research books on vintage glass, vintage pottery, antiques, and such. But I would recommend you go do a search on eBay, Stephen King, either just Stephen King book or whatever title you want to research, and then go down to sold and completed listings and just have a look at what has sold in recent, how many have sold recently, and that'll give you an idea of how many have sold in the last, I believe it's 90 days. It gives you 30 or 90 days and how much they're selling for. So that's always the best way to, if you're listing on eBay, to run a comp on something you're interested in knowing if they're selling well.
Pass.
So I actually sell a bunch of Stephen King books. And it's funny that you said that. I have an upcoming video here in the next couple of weeks. So I literally, like last weekend, just picked up, I think, 12 or 15 Stephen King books. And I have already sold one of them already. The biggest thing, though, with Stephen King is look for first editions. First editions will move and will bring a premium. So that's one thing that I was looking at. The older stuff does sell really well. And also too, depends if you're selling hardbacks or paperbacks, because hardbacks are always going to sell 10 times better than paperbacks. And a lot of the older hardback books do sell well. I put them up individually, but when you have some of the newer stuff, I would normally lot those up together. But yes, I still sell Stephen King books, no issues.
I am going to defer that to Rod. And please, nobody else email me or message me. If I decide to sell it, the thing is gone. I have like a ton already in 2 seconds. So offers closed. Where did this go? Oh, here. I wanted to answer this, even though it's further down. I'm in Miami this week. What places did you go thrifting? So Teresa, close to the airport, there's this shopping center that has 4 giant thrift stores. It has Red, White, and Blue. It has America's Thrift. That's where I went, but there were 2 more. So look up Red, White, and Blue and go, because beware, it took 30 minutes to get a parking space. But it was you have to go to that plaza. You have to go. And beware that Red, White, and Blue is cash only, and you're going to wait in line an hour. But they had some amazing things in there. So I wanted to tell you that since you're just there this week. Hala wants to know, what thermal printer do we prefer? And she's saying hello to everyone.
I have used a Rollo for the past 3 years, the wired one, because they only had the wired one when I got mine. I was tempted to go to the wireless, but I'm friends with Josh and Haley, Hairy Tornado, and Josh has said that his wireless one sometimes experiences connection issues. So he's gone actually back to his wired one. But I definitely recommend a thermal printer. You don't have to buy ink. You just buy the labels, and then the printer generates heat, which is what will print the verbiage on the label. So you're saving however much you save on buying ink, and then they just spit out one sheet. You don't have to tape, you don't have to cut. It's just super easy breezy. If you've been doing the HP printer with ink and cutting and taping it on, your life is about to change. It's amazing.
So I have a Rollo, and it's 4 years old. It's the one that plugs in. And I was thinking about getting a wireless, but since Tiffany said no, I listened to everything Tiffany says. So now I'm sticking with this one. And Rollo.
So I use Off Nova. Kat actually sent me a link to it on Amazon. I think it was less than $100, and it works great. Yes. To be honest with you, it plugs in. The only thing I would say is, make sure when you do buy one,
it has wireless capability, Rod.
Not for Macs, it doesn't. So you can only use it for
Windows. I haven't tried it with mine. I haven't tried it.
Yeah, that's what I say. So if you do buy those, just make sure you check the type of computer you have, because if you want a wireless, it won't work with wireless with a Mac or from your iPhone, but it does work. I just plug it in my Mac and use it from my Mac, so it works great. And it literally was like $97 or $93, and it's changed my life, because for the longest time I printed my labels and cut them like a dummy. And I wasted so much money and so much time.
Yeah, so I use 2. I use the one Rod just talked about to print my cute little stickers you get on your whatnot packages that I change the color of all the time randomly. It makes me happy. And then I also use a Dymo. But I will tell you, the reason I got Dymo is because I found it cheap on Facebook Marketplace. I think you could hear everything. And you know what? I was hanging out with Jeremy and George, What the Hales, this weekend. They have a brother, and it looked so cool. And it I was like, what printer is that? So they were using a Brother thermal that looked pretty impressive too. So I would first look for a used one. If you're on a budget, look for a used, just look for thermal printer, whether it be Dymo, Rollo, Brother, whatever it is. People are putting other brands. Or if you want new, that Off Nova for under $100 is really, really good. Miss Lisa Beachwalker sent a $5 super chat and said, it seems like some buyers don't get items at the sales price and some do when I am running a store-wide sale. It is not obvious when a sale is running.
Does it happen, Kat, if somebody puts something in their cart before it goes on sale? Do they, I don't know, do they pay the full price?
I don't know that I know the answer to this. Rachel,
This is
do you
eBay,
know?
yeah?
Yeah.
Ooh, you guys don't know the answer. What is this? Okay. Seems like
I know that if it's a promoted listing, if they click on the generic, the organic listing as opposed to the promoted, no, that's not what you're talking about.
No, that would be fees, not the price.
Yeah, right.
The only thing I'm thinking of is like sending out offers, like if that's what you're meaning by a sale.
No, she means for sales. She's saying it's not showing to all people. That sounds like a weird glitch.
Sometimes I thought too you can only run a sale up to 500 items. So
no, or you can do all inventory. It's up to 500 or all inventory. I do all inventory. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, that's more of a glitch than anything. I mean, the only issue I have is I send offers and people don't accept the offers and buy it now and then message me later that they missed the offer. But other than that.
All right, let me give Lisa her dolphin. Thank you so much. I'm sorry we couldn't help. If anybody in the chat knows, please let her know, because none of us know this mystery. Here's your dolphin. Cape Cod resellers. If you had to pick one and only one for sourcing and why, number 1, thrift stores, number 2, wholesale pallets, number 3, yard sales.
Definitely Goodwill. And that's unique to me because my Goodwill YouTube videos get the most views. So for me, that's why I choose Goodwill. And I also have a really good relationship with the Goodwills here in Vegas. A group of resellers from Vegas, me and Danny and Sunny and Mikey, we were all invited to the grand opening of the newest Goodwill on Vegas Boulevard. And we got to meet the president, Rick Neal, and the head of communications and marketing, Brian Stewart. And they blew us away with how grateful they were for all the exposure that we give to them. And, they're just the kindest people and really excited to have us doing what we do. So that also contributes to my love of Goodwill thrifting.
Tiffany, I heard that you guys can film at the Goodwills, but you guys can't film at the bins. Is that correct?
It's the other way around. We're not allowed to film at the bins. Okay. I am actually working with Brian Stewart to figure out why they don't want us filming at the bins. And he sees no reason why we can't. So it's just, going up the political ladder to get us permission to do that. So hopefully within the year, we will have permission to film at the bins, which will be great.
So I would pick number 4, which you forgot to write. It's antique stores. If you guys catch me in an antique store, I am like a kid in a candy shop, like all giddy. My voice gets really high and childlike, like that. That's me. I love antique stores so much. But if I had to pick 1, 2, or 3, I definitely would pick thrift stores, because when I am tight on time, which I am, I want to get a lot of inventory. So I wish that I could go to yard sales. I do not trust wholesale pallets. No. So yard sales do take a lot of time. I feel like I would need to go like on a girl date and grab coffee and like do the whole thing. And also I live in Wisconsin, so it'd have to be like a very timely thing. Whereas thrift stores, I'm boom, boom, boom. I know what I'm looking for. That's also why I am a niche seller, because I only look at a few different sections, and then I buy a bunch, and then I'm out. I probably source probably once a week in thrift stores, and then online. So yeah, definitely.
So for me, hands down, without a doubt, would be yard sales. And the reason for that is, one is my location. So I live in Florida. I can yard sale all year round. If you guys live in the northern states, you guys can't. So I do have an advantage over you guys on that. But I will tell you, yard sales, you get the most bang for your buck, and you have the highest profit margins because you can find items for $1. You can find items for 50 cents a quarter. And you know, that's my bread and butter. I find items for quarter, 50 cents, $1, sell for $10, $15, $20 all day long. But when I go to yard sales and networking is huge, because I tell people what I do, and some of my biggest pickups this year have come from yard sales. So it's coming out soon. I have a video where I bought out a Disney collection because I went to a yard sale. They invited me to their house, and a Disney collection that was sitting in storage for 27 years untouched, and it was 17 totes filled with items. So that's going to be one hell of a video. I will tell you that. It was a massive collection. I'm still going through it. But yeah, hands down, yard sales.
So I would pick a different number 4 from Rachel, and I would say online auctions is my number 1. If I had to pick one of those 3, though, I would pick yard sales. I agree with Rod. Most bang for your buck. I'm in Florida, too, so we do have them year-round. So, yeah, but hi.
Say hi to everything.
Peekaboo. Peekaboo.
I bet Daddy doesn't know they're down here.
It's okay.
And he said he was watching this live, so I bet he's really not knowing that they're down here.
Dalton used to be on here with me live every Tuesday at the beginning of this. Dalton was on all the time. We actually changed the time. Hi, Daddy.
Hi.
Kimberly's hiding in the shoes.
That was great. Yeah, Dalton used to be on every single.
Kimberly.
That's so funny. Yeah, Dalton was on every single week, and I actually changed the time because of Dalton. We changed to 8 p.m. a long time ago. I want to put this up real quick before we grab the super chat. Miss Brenda said she's got to send me a pic. So she got some vintage earrings or vintage button covers, and she's making them earrings. You guys, if you buy jewelry from me and you're wearing it, send me pictures. I forget to say that. Or if it's like stuff that I sell that can be turned into something else, please send me pictures. Please. I would love to see the pictures because I think it's super cool to see it recycled and take on a new life, because some stuff that I sell, a lot of people wouldn't, but I see potential. So I would love to see what you guys do with it. So please send me pictures. Sapphire sent a $5 super chat and said, I would like to request Etsy advice from all of you. I am not getting any sales there. Rachel mentioned ads. Should I do Etsy's ad program?
I'm going to defer to you, Rach. Can't hear you.
Oh, you're muted.
Rach.
You're muted. Can't hear you.
Okay. So I don't do the ad program. I was talking about how Etsy in general does better at advertising to Google. But other than that, that's it. That's all I have. Keep list consistently. You know what I wish Etsy had? I wish that they had more bundle sales. I think Poshmark is on top of that. Mercari is trying, and I feel like Etsy should have more bundle sales, especially for jewelry. Don't know.
So I don't sell on Etsy, but I'm actually going to include in the chat here. I'll put reach out to Handmade and Beyond. He specializes sells.
Yes.
His name's LL. Sells on Etsy. He will be able to answer your question 10 times over plus some. I'll put his link to his page on there, but I'm going to defer this to Kat.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. I would check out Handmade and Bond. I just told you I only had one sale all week on Etsy, so I am by far not the go-to person on Etsy. I think I do like $30 a month on their ad program. I had it at $100 and saw no. I have it at $1 a day is what I have mine set on. But once you reach a certain point, you have no choice but to pay Etsy's offsite ads. LL talked about that last week in the show. So again, if you didn't watch last week's show, there is a ton of Etsy information on last week's show from an Etsy expert that none of us are. So definitely check that one out. Let me give you your Dolphin. Thank you so much.
Super chat.
I included
I went old school and didn't even mean to.
I included a link to his page in the chat there for you. So just go send him a message.
Yeah, and then Mischievous Mariposa asking about international shipping on Etsy. Do any of us know about this either?
I don't know. No.
I just have it turned on. I will tell you, I've had 2 messages in the last week of people telling me that stuff was showing as like 150 in shipping. And I went and looked, and Etsy had made the shipping price way too high, and I had to go manually change it. So Etsy has started doing cubic shipping. So they take the box size where I never put the actual box size. I wouldn't pay attention. I just paid attention to the weight. Etsy is now doing some cubic shipping. So be very, very careful with that. That is all, like, I just turn it on and print the label is what I do when I've shipped international on Etsy. Janelle wants to know, how does pirate ship work for eBay, and how do you actually ship that way?
If you open your pirate ship and you log in, there is a little strip at the top of your page, on your homepage, where you can import your sales into pirate ship. It will import the sales and give you expected cost. Now, what I like to do is I just go in and compare what eBay is charging and what pirate ship is charging. Most of the time, it's about the same. Sometimes eBay is less expensive. The heavier items, pirate ship and UPS, the UPS option under pirate ship is usually cheaper for me. But yeah, it will let you import all of your eBay sales into the pirate ship program and let you just print your labels from there. I do want to remind you, once you've printed them, just go back into eBay and make sure you upload the tracking numbers from your printed labels in pirate ship. Make sure they're there. If they're not there, enter them in from pirate ship, because if you don't do that, eBay is not going to know that you've shipped the item and you will get a late shipment ding.
Kat? I couldn't tell if she was frozen or not.
Tiffany said it perfect. Tiffany said it. Sorry, I was answering a message.
No.
Tiffany answered that perfectly. Yeah, just import it and it's easy. I don't do it on eBay because it's an extra step. I only use pirate ship for my off platform sales. Like if people direct buy from me, when I was doing live sales with Yvonne, that's when I would use pirate ship. Miss Eileen said, I shared my eBay store link to my friends and family. I know they're not going to buy, but some of them wanted to see what I have for sale. I heard this is going to hurt my store. We believe that is true?
I don't think that's going to hurt your store. You're saying you think it will hurt your store because they're looking and not buying? No, I don't think that will hurt you at all. Am I wrong?
So I think what she's referring to is that the algorithm doesn't like a lot of looks without people purchasing it sometimes. That's what people have said. But I mean, I really don't know how many friends or family that are be looking at it. I'm assuming it'd just be a handful. So I don't think that's going to have any impact on your store.
Yeah, I would be in horrible trouble. I have like 5,000 followers on eBay and they're sure as heck not all buying. So that's a lot more than friends and family. So like when you're in social media and people are following, that's happening on an even bigger scale. And we are still making sales. And a lot of them are people just wanting to be nosy and see what we're selling or what we've sold. So I do not think that is true.
There is some YouTubers that do have a separate secret store for that reason, where they think that it does hurt their store. But I mean, at this point. I mean, I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, I don't think it does. Miss Eileen said, Kat, I know you're going to List Perfectly event in June. Can you tell us what more to expect if we go? Okay, so I will be speaking in Phoenix. It is June 27th, June 28th. So it is a 2-day event in Phoenix, Arizona, and there are going to be many speakers, myself included. You're going to get tips on your best reselling practices. I'm not sure what topic I'm speaking on yet, but you're going to learn how to grow your business, List Perfectly tips. One of the biggest things for these events is networking, guys. You never know who you're going to meet at these events. I have made some excellent connections through them. List Perfectly is a great company, so I think they'll probably be bringing their A game with this event. I think it will be well worth it. So I can actually, I'll drop a link to the event. It is 2 days, and I believe it includes beverages and food and things like that as well. So it's going to be 2 jam-packed days of learning. And then if it's anything like the one here, there will be some fun as well included.
We had a blast with that one. So
if I'm speaking, will not be partaking in the open bar. That would not be, I mean, it might be entertaining for you, but it might not be good for me. So yeah, so you might not get to experience that one. Constance, I'm interested to see what people say. She says, what is it that another reseller does that you know is wrong or don't like? No names. Is there anything that another reseller does that you don't like?
The only thing that comes to my mind is when other resellers grumble. They grumble about not being able to find anything. They grumble that prices are too high. They grumble that, they grumble in general. I don't want to see that. It's fine if you can't find anything. If you can't find anything, go to the next store. Find a positive. People are drawn to people who have a positive attitude, who they can learn something from. They don't want to see people grumbling or grouching or complaining about whatever it is. If they're at a thrift store or a yard sale or antique mall, focus on the positive. Focus on what you can teach somebody and how you can bring a little sunshine to their day. That's why I go to YouTube. I don't like drama. I don't like negativity. And that's how I create my videos. I want to keep it positive. I want to make sure that you learn something and that you're enjoying watching my show. So
I don't like it when other resellers sell enema plush. It might just be me.
No names.
That's a little weird.
Like this.
No, honestly, one of my favorite. I know he gets bashed on so much. Love him. He was a teacher, so I can totally empathize with that teacher to reseller game. But I personally don't like it when other resellers are trying to buy my items and telling me that it's priced too high, or I know you can refund me the difference in shipping, or like they kind of know more because they're resellers, and so I should accommodate them, and that bothers me a little bit. And I also agree with Tiffany, definitely the negativity and bashing other people. As a matter of fact, there was like whatnot drama, and probably a lot of you know that there was like whatnot drama between clothing resellers, and I was like, how can, like,
I missed that one.
There's it's like 2 channels or head to head, and getting on whatnot, and I was like, how do you have that much time? Like, I guess I have no time. But yeah, just the drama and bashing and questioning and not lifting each other up, because we're all doing our best. We're all trying our best. And, I totally agree with what Tiffany said.
So I have two pet peeves when it comes to resellers. One is if I'm buying something off Facebook Marketplace, something like that, and we agree to a price, I'm going to pick it up and I get undercut. I know it's part of the business, but that's frustrating. And the second thing is when resellers complain about eBay fees or the fees they have to pay. If you guys don't realize 15 to 20% paying for fees it's nothing. If you had your own business, you have to pay for advertisement, brick and mortar, electric, all these other expenses you need to put in there. And you literally have a platform that you just have to list and they do all the work for you. 15 to 20% that's nothing. So stop complaining about fees because it is the best situation that you're going to be able to do to give you a platform to make a living.
Yeah, so I agree with what everybody said. I am super, super positive. If you do not know, I like any negative, not constructive criticism. I want to say that constructive criticism I leave, but negative and bashing, if one time on my channel, you're blocked forever. I don't tolerate it. I don't think any of us should be mean to each other. Like, be 5 years old, and if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. Like, how hard is that? Just don't say anything. I don't like the way this is phrased, though, because asking, like, if we think it's wrong, everybody does everything different, guys, and we really need to realize that. The way that I do things might not be the way Tiffany does things, might not be the way Rachel does it, might not be the way Rod does it. So I would never say, like, if you want to go write all these swirly descriptions, do it. I don't care. I don't think it's wrong. It's not what I do, but we all, like, that's a beautiful thing about reselling. You can find your own way and do whatever you want, you know? You can take a part of Tiffany, a part of Rachel, a part of Rod, a part of me, and make your own style. So I don't think anybody does anything wrong. But I don't like the bashing, and I don't like hyping up of things. Oh, like the sky is falling, eBay's gonna die. Like, no, come on. Like, don't do it. Don't do it. All right. Miss Terry sent a $4.99 super chat and wants to know if anyone has thrifted in Virginia. And if you have, what are your thoughts and how was your experience?
I have not thrifted Virginia.
I have not, but I will be going to Virginia in May, so I may go thrifting then.
I have not, and I may be going to Maryland next week because I'm random like that. Maybe I'll stop by Virginia on my way to Maryland.
Antique heaven over there. To be
Man, Pennsylvania.
My people.
Woo! Man, those northern states, you've got it made as far as vintage and collectibles.
I don't know if anybody's ever been there, but they have some pretty good antiques.
England and Pennsylvania is the birth of the USA. So you have tons of antiques up there.
Man, it was so, I've been there twice and it was great both times. Let me give you your Dolphin, Miss Terry. Thank you. Oh, shoot, it's 6 minutes after. What am I doing? Why didn't you guys yell at me? Okay, we'll do one more question after the Dolphin. I know we are having fun. Here's your Dolphin, Terry. One question left. What is it going to be? We already answered that.
Get a good question here and strong.
Okay, put it up. You pick.
No, I don't have one. That's
Oh, I'm looking. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking.
Scott.
I'll answer this real quick and then I'll pick another one. I get all that jewelry from online estate auctions. 50 pounds the last buy. Online estate auction. I have videos on the auction sites I use. You can search. I haven't done one in a long time. Still using the same ones. This is a good one if everybody can click. Or if you know, how much were your eBay fees last year? We'll end on a negative note.
I don't know. I don't know.
How do I, hold on.
I have no idea.
I mean,
I'm looking.
your cost of goods, I mean, not your cost of goods, but I mean, your eBay fees should be roughly around between 13 and 15%. So
No, that's not true. Because
based
you're
off what
forgetting your shipping. It shows your shipping too.
yeah, but your buyer pays shipping though, I'm saying.
Yeah, but it still adds it in and
Oh,
takes it
gotcha,
away.
okay.
So like and they said they were at 34%. So I'm looking right now, guys. I have my numbers on screen. I sold 166,968 last year on eBay. 168,000, and my eBay fees were $56,114, which is 33.6%. That is average with shipping. Rod's right without shipping, but when eBay does it on the report, they count the shipping in. So
Yeah,
Rod, if you go to your performance tab, you can click on the date and last year. So under the summary, it'll tell you for the month. So like this month, my eBay fees have been $3,291. They're 38%. So they're higher this month. Do you see it under performance and summary?
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Hold on. eBay fees. So mine this month, I'm at $1,272. Total eBay fees is 14% of total sales.
Why is it so low?
Is mine so low? I didn't really sell a lot. I took time off of that. I got married this month in the last 20 days, so I took like 2 weeks off.
So you must have had higher items and not a bunch in shipping going out.
Yeah,
Okay.
I did have a bunch of higher items.
I think 30 is normally, so like 168.55 went to fees, about 16,000 was cost of goods. I made like 100 grand, but that's before paying employees.
Does it see how much of that is promoted listings, Kat?
Yeah, so let me look for the year, because I think this month's been kind of crappy. Let me go back to the year and I'll tell you.
Mine's at 27%.
Because it breaks it all down.
Yeah, I looked at it wrong. It's 27% for the month.
Oh, okay. That sounds better.
Yeah.
Oh no, the sucker, it won't for the yearly, it won't tell me. So this month it says final value. Where is it? eBay, why are you not telling me? Final value fees. Why does it's not? I thought it used to, but now I don't see it.
Mine was 28% for last year.
Oh, wait, I found it. So out of the 3,000 in fees, 587 is from promoted this month. $600 on 8,500 in sales. So it's under 10%. But the 32, it's like 38%. It's like a third. And then you figure I buy at like 10 to 15%. So I'm at like 50% before paying employees after cost of goods. So, oh, Scott sent us a super chat. Where are you? We'll listen, Drama King. We're gonna change your name, buddy. Mr. I like the drinks. Scott is a good guy, guys. Let me give Scott a dolphin. Here you go. All right, guys. We still have 22 questions. This is how it was last week as well. It's hard if we get a ton with over 400 people to answer them all. It's very, very hard. So get them in early. If you come next week, get them in early to make sure they get answered. I am going to go ahead and let
people
Miss
to know.
Tiffany.
I'm sorry. They can put in questions like 15 minutes before we go live as well.
Yeah. Scott, your Scott, where's your super chat video, dude? Where is it, buddy? You've had plenty of time. All right, let me make Tiffany and Rachel big. Let them tell you what they've got coming up. And then Rod will, and then I will. I have something to show you guys that I'm super excited about. All right, here is Tiffany.
Thank you so much for coming, everybody. It was really fun. There were some really, really good questions, and I appreciate everybody hanging out. I have YouTube videos on Thursdays and Sundays, and I'm going to start doing shorts of an instructional nature on Tuesdays. I also have a Whatnot show every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So do come and join me for that. They're really, really fun, fast moving, lots of friends in the chat, and some fun items you can scoop up for not a lot of money, plenty of room for resellers, and try to include some Easter bits for the season coming up. Again, thank you so much for coming. If you haven't subscribed and checked out my channel, it's Thrifting Vegas on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Thrifting Vegas, and I'll see you soon.
She's almost to 100,000, guys. If you're not following her, follow her. She is close to 100,000. Follow Tiffany.
90,000, yes.
I need to get her that plaque.
Follow her. All right, here's Miss Rachel.
That is incredible. I was telling my husband, I was like, I want to be on with Tiffany, and she has 96 or 97,000. I was like fangirling, like almost like sweating. It was like so exciting. Anyways, about me. My name is Lily Works Reseller on YouTube. I do jewelry. I do thrift with me's. I do a lot of shoes. I have tons of shoes. Those are like my bread and butter type of items. And what am I doing? Oh, I do like a what sold over the weekend video every week. I wanted to say thank you guys so much for letting me on. I feel so privileged to be able to plug into this reseller community, get to know you guys, get to know even the viewers. You guys have been awesome, asking me lots of questions, giving me a lot of support. That is awesome because, you know, being a stay-at-home mom, it is just nice to be able to talk to people out there for a couple hours. And yeah, Lily Works Reseller on YouTube.
Where did you get your sign?
Amazon. I custom made it. So yeah, basically at the end of every video, I remind people to live generously, because I guess I should explain that once I started thrifting, I realized that we live in such an abundance around us, and we can get such good value for things. And it has allowed me to be much more free, not only in material things, but with finances, and with my time, because I'm no longer like chained to like corporate world or school world or anything like that. So I think that I just wanted to give everyone a reminder that you can be out there thrifting or yard selling or antique store shopping, wholesaling, so you guys can tap into your living generously.
All right, one more question.
I am 5 minutes from the Sturtevant, Wisconsin bins, Goodwill bins.
Perfect. Rod, what's going on?
So I drop new videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm at Picking and Punching on YouTube. I dropped a new video today where I find some guy's naughty box. So I'll let that up to your curiosity. If you guys want to watch that video to see what we find. If you guys will find me on Facebook and on Instagram at Picking and Punching. Any questions? Every week we have tons of questions we're not able to answer. My DMs are always open. I respond to every single comment and every single message. So feel free to reach out to me for any questions. A lot of you guys have already done that. So just reach out, give me a follow on Instagram, and make sure you guys sub to my channel.
All right, I got to show you this first because I took it out of the mold too early. I've been sending Tiffany pictures all day. So look at my new color scheme for my trinket box. It looks like the ocean.
That's
look
cool.
At that.
That's so
I'm impressed with it. And it's going to have a glass turtle on top for the knob tomorrow. This will be on Whatnot. So I've been making resin things and I'm obsessed with it like lately. So there's going to be 2 with that ocean pattern tomorrow night, Whatnot 8. Tons of vintage and sterling the next 3 nights on Whatnot. Saturday is the Bling into Spring event. It's actually a 3-day event on Whatnot. If you search for Bling into Spring, you'll find all the sellers. I am one of them. I will have a what sold video on Thursday. And then I was going to put it out today, but I was too busy resining. I should have put a cat's treasure hunting video out, but I was making barrettes and jewelry boxes and stuff and neglecting what I should be doing. So I want to say thank you to Rod, Rachel, and Tiffany for coming on. I really, really appreciate your time. And where did it go? Kat?
Where did it go?
Where did it go? It was a comment that said thank you to Marsha, and where did it go? Do you see it? Where did it go? You guys are talking too much. Anyways, it said thank you to Marsha and Mark for helping. Missy Vaughn also stepped up tonight. There. Good night, Mark and Marsha. OG and Z, Red Cardinal Treasures. Marsha has a beach sale on Thursday, beach jewelry, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Mark is putting shorts out on OG and Z. And Missy Vaughn, Thrifty Rich, stepped up helping us as well. So I appreciate all of you guys that help us and keep the chat semi-clean. We tolerate a little bit. It's a fun hangout night for sure. So thank you all for coming. Everybody's links to their channels are down in the description if you're rewatching. We are here every Tuesday night. We will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for coming. Bye for now.